It's your girl T here, back with another Thursday vidya. I know y'all are having a beautiful, blessed day because we're tea timers. That's absolutely what we do. Our affirmation of the day is, I've always been perfect. We've always been perfect. We're tea timers, so we've never experienced anything but perfection. We don't even know what anything else is. I wanted to jump into a video today about revision. I know a lot of y'all have probably heard revise. I've said it before, revise your circumstance, revise on the spot, revise, revise, revise. It is another technique. It is a very powerful and something that I use and something that y'all can use. It's a beautiful technique. People will coin it to Neville Goddard because he is a very famous example of talking about revision, but revision has been around for who knows how long. When I looked up revision in the dictionary, it said to revise or change an event, or to revise or edit a circumstance, which is what we want to do. We want to revise and edit all our circumstances until they look the way that we want them to look. So what revision is when you take a belief, a circumstance, an event, whatever, any of these things, and you make it the way that you have always wanted it to be, as opposed to what it's showing up as in your 3D. For example, if you've always had money issues, you know when people say, oh, look at Lucy, she's always late. If you were to go and revise that, you would say, and you wanted to be an early person, and I'm Lucy, I'd say, I've always been an early person. I've always been an early bird. I've always been way ahead of the time that things start. Back to money. If you've in your mind solidified that you've always had money issues, or you've been bad with money, or what have you, you would start saying to yourself, I've always been great with money. Money's always been easy for me. I can't even get away from money because I've always had more than enough money. If you wanted to, a lot of you are writing into me and saying, oh, my SP said this, my SP said that. You can revise that on the spot. Your SP sends you a message, get lost, don't ever talk to me again. You can revise it. Isn't it so great that my SP always sends me the sweetest text? My SP's always sending me the sweetest text and always telling me how wonderful I am. Isn't it wonderful? My SP's always texting me the best things. That's revising in the spot. But you, again, can use it for beliefs. If you have a habit with food, let's say, and you can't say no to sweets, and you're finding that you don't want to retrain your brain to think that sweets are good for you, what have you, which can be done. You just want a clean slate where you stay away from sweets. You could be like, I've always hated sweets. I've always hated sweets. I've always hated carbs. I've always hated things that are sugary. It grosses me out. I've always hated sweets. You can use revision with essentially anything. With your SP, like I said, y'all are writing into me and saying SP this, SP that. You can revise the whole SP situation. You could be like, I've always had a perfect relationship with my SP. Me and my SP have always been together. I've always been the version that has been married to my SP. I've always been the version of me that's always been together with my SP. Me and my SP have always been relationship goals, or whatever you want to say. You can revise the crap out of anything in your reality. And y'all are going to ask me, does this work? 152%. I've used it for past events, meaning like things from 2-3 years ago. I've used it from current scenarios where in the present moment I revise things on the spot and it shifts the trajectory of how I think it was going to turn out. I've revised beliefs that I've had about myself. Money, as a good example. I started saying I've always been good with money. I've always been good with money. Money's always been easy for me. Those are revision statements. And my money situation has dramatically improved since 2 years ago. You can essentially revise anything in your reality. I know a lot of NLP practitioners and psychologists, etc., use revision as a tool in their tool belt to help patients revisit painful memories and reframe them in a new way. But revision works. I am telling you, I have used it. It works. It's simply taking, like I said, a circumstance, a belief, whatever it is that you want to revise, and repeating it to yourself until you feel comfortable with it, and revising it so that it becomes the situation you are choosing to remember rather than the way you remember it going down. And you have to you have to also take note that when we are remembering things, the longer the memory is stored in our brain, the more distorted and fogged it becomes. Like every time we retell the story, it changes a bit. It's because our brain is chipping away at pieces of the story and it's coming out in a different way each time. So instead of retelling the story over and over the way we don't want to hear it, why not retell it in our mind over and over the way that we wanted it to go down, and it eventually will. I revised back in 2 years ago the sticks in my brain. I completely made this huge mistake at work, and I was so frantic once I walked out of work. It was on a cash out I was doing. And I literally repeated the cash out over and over, hearing one of my coworkers going, "That was so quick. I've never seen anyone do a cash out so correctly, so quickly before." I was visualizing them saying this to me. And the next day when I asked around at work about what was the end result of my cash out, they're like, "It was correct. What are you talking about?" And it was forgotten about. This revision technique will change things for you, and you don't have to worry about how it will change it, in what order, like how it will go down. It will change your past events, your past beliefs, etc., in a way that will make it into the way that you want it to be without you having to worry about how. You can revise on the spot, like I showed you earlier in the video. You can revise past beliefs. You can revise past circumstances if they're giving you painful memories. You can revise them to be the way that you wanted them to be, and you will see the fallout of the new end result in your reality. Or you can revise, anything. And if y'all need help doing this, you know what to do. You can ask in the comments below, or if you have any questions. But revision is a very powerful technique, and I think this would be very helpful, especially for people manifesting SP, if you cannot wrap your head around the fact that you're selecting a version of them that shows up for you in a completely different manner than you're used to. Saying me and my SP have always had a perfect relationship. My SP's always been the person that I wanted them to be. I have always gotten the best version of my SP, and saying things like that is going to really help you narrate the way you want your story to go, instead of revisiting those old memories of them where they were showing up in a way that was not conducive to what you want in your relationship. Y'all try this. See how it goes. Ask me if you have any questions. And remember that I love y'all, but not as much as you should be loving yourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye.